expose the dark deeds of Washington? What truth does American democracy refuse to forgive? And what is the reason for Julian Assange facing a 175-year prison sentence in the United States? Let's consider all the political elements and put them in their places. This is Mendeleev's table. Hello. The case is approaching its conclusion. In the history of Julian Assange, they attempted to bring it to a close. A court hearing on the extradition of the founder of WikiLeaks to the United States occurred in London. However, the decision is pending. In the meeting, Judge Johnson clarified with representatives of UK Ministry of Internal Affairs if Assange could potentially face the death penalty upon extradition to the USA. And this is a crucial point, as British law forbids the extradition of prisoners to nations where they might be subjected to the capital punishment.
I am concerned about the role of UK in this matter. As far as I understand, he has never been accused of any crimes in Britain. However, the government of Great Britain is currently detaining him, keeping the journalist in custody without any charges.
Even before the London High Court session, large-scale actions in support of the journalist began to flare up on the planet. The slogans, which are identical to Free Assange and Journalism is not a crime, convey a powerful message about the importance of press freedom and the unjust treatment of Julian Assange. Demonstrations have spread to London, Paris, Gubiberg, and have taken off in Rome. In the West, they probably got confused again with the formulations of attacks on democracy and freedom of speech. Under threat of prosecution, waiting for the shot against the backdrop of U.S. desire to avenge the journalist to the last, Assange has been in since 2010. It was then that the WikiLeaks website, founded for the publication of secret documents, gained wide recognition. Due to the release of State Department and Pentagon documents, including diplomatic correspondence and info on military operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. Among them are the following frames, in which American soldiers indiscriminately shell unarmed civilians and journalists in Baghdad. Since then, Assange has become a hero for certain individuals.
I desire for Assange to be set free. I am unable to comprehend the rationale behind his current incarceration in prison.
And for the USA, a persistent migraine. By the way, none of those involved in the attack were convicted, but such exposure in Washington could not be tolerated, and they decided to sue Assange. In 2010, an investigation was launched into suspicion of violating the espionage law. The journalist hurried to move the website server to Sweden, arrived there and planned to obtain a residence permit.
One of these requirements was the destruction of our archives containing classified information pertaining to the Pentagon.
However, an investigation was also started against him there, and he was accused of sexual violence, despite Assange's claim that these charges are politically motivated. Went to London, legal persecution continued. Since 2012, he has been hiding in the Ecuadorian embassy. It is also known that U.S. intelligence agencies were developing a plan to assassinate Assange at that time. But then the journalist was deprived of diplomatic asylum and detained in 2019. In a British prison, he had a stroke and got married, the pinnacle of freedom of speech. The information that was published by Assange exposed military crimes and violations of human rights that occurred on a global scale.
We lack a free press as long as Assange remains in prison. We lack freedom of speech. Unless you can uphold equality, we cannot reside in a free and transparent society.
After the attack on the First Amendment to the American Constitution, which guarantees freedom of speech to citizens, there is no hope that the Western ephemera will wake up. Assange may face up to 175 years in prison in the U.S. He is accused of crimes related to the largest disclosure of classified information in the history of the U.S. Rest in peace. The freedom of speech in America is at stake.